Hey everyone, welcome back. Okay, and this is another top 10 list, another Naruto related top 10 list in fact. This is my top 10 favorite Naruto deaths. Now, I do plan on doing some more lists later on based on Naruto, which are going to split it between the original and Shippuden. And then basically when I do my top Naruto fights, first I'm going to do Naruto, then Naruto Shippuden, then both together. But in terms of deaths, there haven't really been a huge amount of notable deaths for me in both Naruto and Naruto Shippuden to really split it like that and then do both of them together. So this is going to be all around Naruto in general. Okay, my top 10 Naruto deaths. Because Naruto characters don't die a lot, especially the protagonists. But when a character dies, you feel for them. Even if they're a villain most of the time. Or either that, or you like the fact that they died, so that's why it's a great death. And actually, before I get into the actual list here, I'm going to give an honorable mention to Gato. Because I hated that fucking character like I think everyone else did. And the way he fucking died was so fucking hilarious. The way Zabuza killed him. I fucking loved it, seriously. It wasn't great enough to actually make it on this list, but I just had to give it off as an honorable mention before I actually get onto the actual list, okay? So, yeah. Anyways, though. Onto the actual list, my top 10 Naruto deaths. Number 10, Kisame Hoshigaki. Now, the reason that I love this death so much is because it proved that even though Kisame was in some ways kind of a generic battle-hungry monster, okay, he still had a lot of honor because he was willing to commit fucking suicide just to keep the Akatsuki secrets, which were on him obviously, out of enemy hands. That is loyalty of the highest fucking order right there, and it's not something you usually get out of the villains, especially generic villains like so far what we've seen up to that point was him just being a generic villain. You know what I mean? So, I mean, Kisame is an awesome character in general, but that death scene just solidified solidified how much honor he has and how much loyalty to Tobi that he had. Alright. Number 9 is Kimimaro Kaguya. The reason why I love this death so much is because before the death, it literally took the combined efforts of Naruto, Rock Lee, and Gaara fighting at their full strength at the time in order to actually defeat him. And even then, he didn't die right away. He actually charged at Gaara, ready to strike a fatal blow, and then he died. Like, in attack. And it was such an epic death for an epic character who was so powerful. And that was one of the deaths in the series that really stuck with me, okay? And number 8, Obito Uchiha. Simply put, the reason why I love this character's death was because he finally died. Because he is a shitty-ass fucking character. And I was so glad when he finally fucking died. Seriously. Like, he should have died so fucking long ago, which is the only thing the only reason why it's not higher up on this list because it took so fucking long for him to actually die. But I'm just glad he's finally dead. Okay, seriously. And number 7 is Hiruzen Sarutobi. Okay, this one happened a long time ago, obviously. And watching it as a kid, this one really hit me hard because I really loved the third Hokage at the time. I really did. And his death was technically the first death of an actual protagonist in the series. I guess you could technically say Minato and Kushina were, but that happened before the start of the series, and we didn't learn about that till way into Shippuden, at least in terms of how they died and whatnot, so that didn't really count at the time, you know what I mean? To our knowledge, Hiruzen was the first protagonist death, and it was handled in the entire series, okay? And it was handled so well. Like, really. In the hands of Orochimaru. And the only thing he was able to do was just steal Orochimaru's arms away. He wasn't even able to take Orochimaru with him, technically. So, yeah, hold on a sec here. So yeah, so that's why that death always stuck with me as a kid and still now. Okay, it was not the first time I felt strong emotions from Naruto, but the first time I felt something like this from Naruto, where a character I really loved died and it hit me hard. Okay, number 6 is Haku. Haku, to me, I think was one of the most tragic characters in the entire series, and his death hit me so hard when I was a kid. And if I go back and rewatch it now, it still does. Even though I watched it so many times, I know exactly what's going to happen. Haku, even though he was technically a villain, Haku was still an extremely likable character. And watching him die it hits you right here, okay? It really does. Number 5 is actually a tie between Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. The reason I have a tie between them is because they both died at the same time in pretty much the same way. So I couldn't really decide which one that I wanted to put above each other. So I just decided to put them on the same number. Now, these deaths basically set the Naruto series in motion. Technically, because if they were still alive, then Naruto wouldn't have had the nine-tailed fox in him, so he wouldn't have always been so isolated and whatnot. He would have had a little parental guidance throughout his life. He wouldn't have been as much of like a misfit. Hey, he might have actually ended up with Sakura in the end. Imagine that, huh? Like, because if he actually had parental guidance, I don't know if Hinata would have been attracted to him. Because as far as we know right now, the only reason Hinata was attracted to him was because he was a pathetic loner. Imagine that, right? So he might have actually ended up with Sakura in the end because he wouldn't have been basically such an ass, and so Sakura might have actually been able to fall in love with him later on. I mean, once she grew up and got more mature in terms of the whole Sasuke thing, you know what I mean? And him and Sasuke might have became friends a lot sooner as well. But either way, though, these two deaths were extremely sad when they were finally shown, but they were also extremely important for the Naruto series. Okay? And these two characters were so likable. And watching them die, like, Kushina just died because she got Kurama's claw stabbed through her back. Minato got the worst of it, though, because he died because of that, as well as because of using the dead demon seal technique. So, yeah. He kind of got the worst of it. So, both of these two deaths really affected me. Now, number 4 is Asuma Sarutobi. Another one of the few protagonists that actually died in the series. Actually, before I get into Asuma, I do want to give an honorable mention that I just thought of. Neji Hyuga. It wasn't a good enough death to make it on the list, but I still wanted to give an honorable mention. The reason why I couldn't put it on the list is because really, it came out of kind of came out of nowhere, and it was long after his character development ended. Because his character development ended during the Sasuke retrieval arc in Part 1. You know what I mean? So if he would have died then, I thought it would have been a lot more impactful than when he did die. Okay? But, that being said, I still thought his death was kind of impactful, which is why I just wanted to give him an honorable mention on this list. Anyways, number 4 is Asuma Sarutobi. Even though it's only number 4 on my list, as in there's 3 that's higher than it, I do think that it was the second most well-done death in the entire series. Okay, it's just the epicness of the music combined with that animation just brought out so many emotions that I didn't know Naruto could bring out of me. Okay? And it was the one character that if he died, I didn't think I'd care. I mean, I know that he was the grandfather of Konohamaru, and I did kind of like Konohamaru, not to mention the teacher of the Inoshika Cho trio, you know, Shikamaru, Ino, and Choji. Still, he's one of the characters that I thought that if he died, I wouldn't care all that much, but I really did. Like, they handled this death so well, and yeah, so that's why he's number 4 on my list. Number 3 is Itachi Uchiha. if you watch my top 10 characters list, and you might be kind of surprised at this, that he's only number 3. Okay? But the reason he's not higher on this list, like maybe number 2 or even number 1, is simply because he died. And I did, well, not that he died, but that he died so soon. Okay? Not to mention he was revived, only to die again. So, granted, I think that's a little bit better, but I'm talking about the first time that he died in his fight with Sasuke, which, again, Sasuke didn't kill him. He died from his disease. That's why it's so high on this list that it is. Okay, if Sasuke actually managed to kill him, I would be hard-pressed to even put it on this list. I'd probably just give it like an honorable mention or something, okay? But his death was handled so well, and I just loved it. Oh my god. I have to wait. After this video, I'm going to have to wait to record some more because my voice is getting really hoarse right now. Number 2 is Zabuza Momochi. Okay, this is along with Haku, because him and Haku were technically the first 2 major deaths in this. Actually, the first 2 deaths in the series in general. And Zabuza's death was handled so well, because even though he was a generic villain, I didn't think I could feel so much from a death from a generic villain like that. But he really had a change of heart at the end, and even went as far to kill a lot of Gado's men and Gado before he died. Not to mention, this guy took so much fucking abuse before he died. Seriously. Like, oh my god. So yeah, he's my second favorite death in the series, and number 1 is Jiraiya. This might be the best handled death in the entire series to bring out the most emotions of me. And like with Itachi, I really did not expect Jiraiya to die as soon as he did. Granted, it was later than Itachi, obviously, but still, I did not expect Jiraiya to die so soon. Okay, even though he's number 1 on this list, I will say I did have a bit of an issue with it. I really wish that he would have waited until the war to die. Now, granted, you know, he obviously would have been alive to fight Pain in the village, which Tsunade, Naruto, and Jiraiya fighting Pain together might have given them a much better chance. But still, I think he should have waited till the 4th Great Shinobi World War to die, at least, okay? But still, I think this is honestly the best death in the entire series. It was the best handle, it brought the most emotions of me, and really, it was just so fucking well done. So, yeah, that's why Jiraiya is number 1 on my list. But anyways, so that was my list of my top 10 Naruto deaths. So, what are yours? Post them as a comment down below so that if you want to tell me. And yeah, so anyways, I had a lot of fun making this list, but more are to come. More Naruto related lists are to come. But so anyways, overall, I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye.